we have a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. Then Bill Pfaff from the church is going to take about 5 minutes to talk to us about some stuff that's going on here at the church, and then we'll get to our guest speaker. So before we get started, unless you guys have questions, the only pressing thing I can think of is I got a couple of phone calls this morning from some people that live up in the Westwood area that received a notice from the city about the low-income housing that's up there. Any of y'all hear that? Okay. Well, if you do, it's nothing to panic about. They're actually, what the city is approving is they're approving the purchase of this property, that they're going to come in and upgrade it, and it's still going to be low income, but not as low of income. So it's just like it's Section 8 now, and it's going to be like one step up from that. So it's just a notice that the city will be voting on Thursday night. It's nothing to panic about property values or anything like that, so that's good. You got the notice about the paving and so forth. We're working on that. We're still trying to pin that list down. Like you said, some of it didn't make sense because they had like half of one street and half of another, and then like a big gap in the middle. So we're trying to figure all that out too. Next couple of meetings, we're going to be talking about bond election. And Chad, was it March or April that was set up for the appraisal? April. The April meeting, Chad's going to be here. We're going to have some people from the Williamson County Appraisal District, because as you know, that's about the time that property appraisals are going to come out. So they're going to be here to talk to us about how they come up with all that they don't just reach in a bag and pull out a number and say there's your value. So they're going to talk to us about all that. So any other questions? Wow, quiet bunch tonight. All right, Bill. Just going to hang on to that.
What is it?
It's a microphone.
Microphone? Hello, my name is Bill Pfaff. I'm a member here at Grace, and I want to give you an update on, I'm sorry?
And you don't have to hold that up there. Just put it on your shirt.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wireless mic for in here. You got to talk loud.
Is that okay now?
That's good.
Good. All right. I want to tell you about some exciting things going on and make an invitation to you. Here at Grace, we've always taken great pride in our ministry of being a resource for the community. And 10 years ago, the property right next door to us, the house next door to us on Bluff, became available, went up on the market, and triggered the question, what if? What if we could purchase that house? What if we could reconfigure the house into classrooms and meeting space? And what if we could turn that house into a resource for the community? So within our church, after a lot of prayerful consideration and a lot of inspiration and a lot of perspiration in the form of sweat equity and taking on some debt, Wernicke Grace House was born, which is right over here. I'm not sure if all of you are familiar with Wernicke Grace House or not, but let me tell you a little bit about it. So if we flash forward 10 years to today, we're happy to say that there's no doubt that Wernicke Grace House has become a great resource for the community. A sample of the organizations that meet there on a daily or weekly basis are Meals on Wheels. It's a local center for Meals on Wheels in the neighborhood. The Round Rock ISD VISTA program, which is a program for special needs students to help give them life skills, is centered there as well. Alcoholics Anonymous, several groups meet there, Al-Anon, Boy Scouts, and the like. And additionally, by configuring Grace House was classroom space, we were able to reconfigure this building for larger meetings such as this one and open up the space. And this allowed us to accommodate groups like the Greater Round Rock West Neighborhood Association. So, in recognition of the 10-year anniversary of Wernicke Grace House, there's going to be a celebration, and I'll have a little handout here in a second, on March 26th, which is a Sunday, at 12:30. We'd love for you to come. Now, in conjunction with that 10-year anniversary, we've been very blessed that we've been given the opportunity to pay off the remaining mortgage, which is $30,000, with a 2-to-1 match from a very generous donation that was given to us. So by raising $10,000 by March 26th, we'll be able to pay off the mortgage and assure that Wernicke Grace House and TEC can continue to be available for a long time to come as resources for the community. And of course, any donations to the Grace House mortgage payoff would be greatly appreciated. That's really all I had. Is there any questions? I'd be happy to answer them if there were. All right, well, thank you for the time.
Before you get out of here,
Yes, sir.
we have in our budget every year a donation to Grace Lutheran Church, $1,000.
Whoa.
So, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Using the facility here. It means a lot to us to not have to go out and find someplace every month to have our meetings and so forth, so we appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
And I'll steal that back from you.
I'll be happy to get back to that.
Thank you. Thanks, Bill. Okay, you guys toss coins, draw straws to see who wants to go first.
We rock, paper, scissors.
Okay. So we have, now tell me, is it Mussey? Reba Mussey from Deepwood Elementary and Steve Swain from Chisholm Trail to talk to us tonight. Now, you can't run away from here when you're done because we got to talk to both of you afterwards.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Reba Mussey, and I am the proud principal of Deepwood Elementary, and I am just so thrilled to be here with you guys tonight. I brought my cheering section with me. No, anytime anybody asks me to speak about Deepwood, it's such an honor and privilege to talk about the great things that are happening over at Deepwood. And I've been here just a short time. I think my first day was October 10th, so it feels like I've been here for 5 minutes, but we have been doing some really, really wonderful things. Just for starters, I hope that when you pass Deepwood, you can see some of the changes that are taking place with our school beautification. I've been working really closely with maintenance. They're probably, every time they look at their caller ID and they see my phone number, they're thinking, oh my gosh, what does this woman want now? But they've been working really hard with us to bring Deepwood back to life a little bit. Just by passing our front entrance, you see that we have our Deepwood green on our front porch, which gives it a little bit of life. And just maintaining some of the maintenance. Some of our picnic tables were kind of broken out in the playground, and they've been quick to come and respond and help us just start beautifying Deepwood, because in the fall, we're going to be celebrating 40 years. And so that's an exciting milestone. And we're getting a planning committee together to plan some neat opportunities for our community and for our parents and for our kiddos to just celebrate that 40 years. Some other things that we've been working on is it's called Capturing Kids' Hearts. And I know I came into this campus with them already working on it, and it's something that I fully believe with my whole heart. Is if you have a kid's heart, then you have their mind. And I am all about relationship building and fostering authentic relationships, and that is one thing that I think Deepwood does so great, is getting those kids in and building relationships. We've had conversations about how do we extend that now to our parents and to our community members so that they feel that Capturing Kids' Hearts mentality as well. And so it's just really great things are happening. A couple of weeks ago, I took a group of teacher leaders to Dallas to look at some reading and writing instruction, and they came back really excited. So one of the things leading into the fall is looking at how do we increase our reading and writing instruction so that we can have competitive kids in Round Rock High School and in college, and then when they get out to the community and do jobs, how do we make them competitive for those jobs? We are adding 2 events this spring. One is Kinder Peak. So if you know any families that have kindergartners coming in, we're going to set aside a special day for those families to come in and meet with me and our PTA and to give those new kindergartners kind of a peek inside what a kindergarten classroom looks like. We're really excited about that. And then something that Ms. Dixon is helping lead is having a senior breakfast. So those kids that are leaving Round Rock High School, we're going to invite them back to have a breakfast with their former teachers. And so our kids can see these high school seniors graduating and be excited for them. So those are 2 events that we're excited about adding to our calendar this spring. Another thing that we're really working on is building our partnership with our PTA. One of the very first events I had was the Fall Carnival, and we had so many community members and families come, and it was a really great celebration. And then just recently we had our chili cook-off, and we had another great turnout. And so we're looking for more opportunities to invite you guys in and to be a part of our school, because this is your neighborhood school. We want you to come and celebrate our kids and just feel welcome and do life with us at Deepwood, because I think when I first walked in, he said, we have Deepwood in our blood. Our kids went to Deepwood. Well, come back to our chili cook-off and continue being a part of Deepwood Elementary. We would be thrilled to have you. That's about what I have to share. I am so honored to get to lead Deepwood. There are really, really, really great things happening inside those walls, and our kids are excited to be there, and our teachers are probably some of the best teachers that I've worked with, and I've been in education for over 15 years, and I am just truly honored to be your leader. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
I was talking to, does the name Gene Stokes ring a bell? I was talking to Gene Stokes, and I'll see him at breakfast again in the morning, one of the original principals of Deepwood, and it's got a special place in his heart and always has. And as you guys know, we partnership with these schools in multiple ways, and after they're done, we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But Steve, if you want to go ahead and come up, we'll turn it over to you and let you tell us about Chisholm Trail.
Let's see if I can clip this here. So it's funny you said Gene Stokes, because my mom taught for 10 years at Deepwood, and she was Mrs. Swain is my mom. And one of the former board members, I just lost his name off the top of my head, but he had my mom as a teacher there as well. So Brian Sellers, thank you. I've shelved books at Deepwood. I've done all kinds of things at Deepwood. I cleaned out closets at Deepwood. I did all that stuff. And then, because I was a student at Chisholm Trail Middle School at the time, and then left Chisholm Trail, went to Round Rock High School. So I grew up here. We actually lived in Austin, but my mom worked at Deepwood, and so I came to school here. And I love being back in Round Rock and being part of that. My family lives here. We're all bought in. I took over a week, I think, before Reba did at Chisholm Trail. Mr. Shermani was our former principal. I worked with him for 3 years as the assistant principal there. And then when he got the opportunity to go to Manor to be the director of curriculum instruction, I got the opportunity to be the principal there. And it is an exciting roller coaster that middle school is. We have about 1,040 kiddos, fantastic kids. I was telling them back in the back, we had a dance Friday night. I had about 400-ish middle school hormone-laden children in the dance. But it was really fun, because sometimes, we get caught up in what we do and running the school and helping the teachers and do all those things, and sometimes we don't always put our eyes on how great our kids are. And I stood up on the stage for about 20 minutes just kind of looking over the crowd, making sure everything was good. And one of my assistant principals hopped up on the stage, and he's new with us. He started in January, and I said, isn't it cool to have half your school here and then just having an absolute blast? And when 9 o'clock rolls around and the 6th graders have to leave, they're trying to figure out how do I stay. If I get my older brother to stay, then I don't have to leave till 9:30, so I can stay and hang out with him. And so it's really cool. Reba talked about capturing kids' hearts. We don't do capturing kids' hearts in program, but we do it with our staff. We had staff development yesterday, and I talked to the teachers about the fact that I have no doubt that my teachers are the best middle school teachers in the district, and I say that with all sincerity. There's some good teachers around this district. There's some outstanding teachers around this district, but I'll put mine up against anybody. And I know that the academic program at our school is in great hands, and they are handling that wonderfully. I told them yesterday what we have to do as teachers, besides deliver the academics part, is we have to get that heart of that kid, and we have to make kids believe they can be successful, and we have to make kids believe that there's somebody that cares about them outside of whatever their situation is. A lot of our kids come from great houses with mom and dad both at home that sit there and help them with homework, and they do all those things, and some of our kids don't come from those situations, and we have to pour into those kids what they need. Not every kid needs the same thing, but we need to make sure we give them all of that. The staff, I told them this morning, I said, when you wake up, or I told them yesterday, when you wake up in the morning, go look in the mirror see where you are, see what you need to fix before you walk in here and deal with my kids. Because we need to make sure that we bring our A game every single day. We expect our kids to bring their A game, and I expect them to bring their A game, and they do, day in, day out. We have a little kid, just as an example, he lost his mom a couple of weeks ago. She was diagnosed with cancer on a Thursday, and she died that night. And this young man is actually going blind as well, the student. So he's got a lot being dealt to him. And he's got this backpack that he carries. It's crazy how big this backpack is for him. And one of the teachers saw him before all that happened, saw him walking down the hall struggling with the backpack. The next day, he's got a rolly backpack that she went and bought for him so that he could do that stuff. That's the kind of stuff that happens day in and day out at my campus. I'd love to tell you 15 bajillion things, but half of them I don't even know that they do, because they don't do it because they want me to know they did it. They do it because it's the right thing for kids. Reba spoke about, the reading and the math programs and those things at Deepwood. They send us great kids. They send us kids that are prepared. They send us kids that are ready to roll and do stuff. The staff at Deepwood is amazing, and to hear their kids talk about their teachers that they had at Deepwood and they get to us, to see my teachers go to Round Rock High School and walk the halls and hear the kids, hey, that's Miss So-and-so, hey, I need to go talk to her, I need to go talk to her. We want to be a biggest part of this community as we can possibly be. And I think our biggest responsibility to you is to make sure that the kids that we produce that come out of us are prepared to be able to be productive members of whatever society. I remember, Chad, you can help me maybe, but about 5 or 6 years ago, there was a business alliance that had a conference here in Round Rock. And I remember one of them said that public schools are doing a great job of teaching kids to follow directions, but we're not teaching kids doing a good job of teaching kids how to think. So I challenge my teachers all the time. Teach your kids how to think. It doesn't do any good for them to be able to follow directions. Anybody can follow directions. But if we're going to have innovative ideas and we're going to do different things and we're going to expect our kids to be the leaders in what we need them to be able to think. So when you come into classrooms, and I welcome you any day you want to come in, sign in the front office. If there's something you want to see, we'll find somebody to get you to that place and let you go see it. When you come in, I hope what you see is kids working hard, kids collaborating with each other, not sitting in little rows talking to each other, or not talking to anybody. There's a time and a place for that, but that should not be the norm. Having conversations, solving problems, doing things that require them to think about what it is that they're learning. It does us no good for a kid to learn how to multiply if he doesn't know why he's learning to multiply, or what the basics, facts of why you need to be able to do those things. So Chisholm Trails are an amazing place. I love it. We're doing some of the same beautification things. If you drove by today, you noticed the planters that have been out front for who knows how many years are no longer there. Yesterday, Dr. Presley, who is the deputy superintendent, and the guy that's in charge of, Bob Servey, who's in charge of all building maintenance and everything, we're out there with sledgehammers helping get rid of all that stuff. So those are gone, and Dr. Presley has bought us benches to put in the front to replace those ugly planters. So the district is really, and I'm not kissing up to the board member, but I honestly think the district has really stepped up with our facilities, trying to do the right things for us. They've been very open with helping us do anything and everything we can. And I think they've placed Reba and I in a place that we can be successful with our kiddos, and they expect us to be that. And we want you to hold us to that same standard, because our success lies in the kiddos that we have. So if you have questions.
I have a question. It just occurred to me, how challenging is it in the cell phone age in the school environment?
So about 5 years ago, 5 to 6 years ago, cell phones became a major issue on campuses. At our campus, and Reba can speak to elementary school because I don't know what they do. At our campus, we fought the battle on cell phones for a long time. If you had them out in class, we took them up. If you had them out in the hallway, we took them up. We put them in the office. The first time you got it picked up, you got it back that afternoon. The second time, if you got it picked up, mom had to come get it. Anytime after that, mom could come get it, but it was $15 to come pick it up. Turned into a big old mess, to be honest with you. We were playing tag-a-phone all the time. 3 years ago, we decided at lunchtime to let kids have their phone out listen to their music if they want to listen to music at the lunch table, listen to it, use it for games and that kind of stuff. The district doesn't allow, unless a kid has their own data plan, which most parents don't give kids unlimited data plan, and the kids burn that data very, very quickly, my own daughters included. The district doesn't allow them to be able to get out on the district's internet, to be able to, on their phones, to be able to do whatever they want to do. So it allows them to have some freedom of expression with that phone and with themselves, texting their friends, doing that kind of stuff. But we also use them a lot in the classroom because it's a very powerful device that a kid walks in through. I mean, it's $750 computer in your hand when you walk into a classroom. And so the kids, the teachers have different things that they use. I just lost the name of the app. There's an app, and I'll think of it maybe in the middle of this, but not that one. There's so many of them, but I mean the teachers can ask questions, the kids can respond on their phone. Kahoot is one of them that you can use. Nearpod we have, Quizalize. I mean there's so many things that the apps that the teachers have that we can use them as educational tools. We've kind of flipped the script on them a little bit, and they're like, yeah, you can have it, but you're going to work on it and you're going to use it. Now, the district I think has also done a really great job of giving us a lot of technology in our hands, and so we have in our campus, at every team, we have 3 teams per grade level, and a team is 4 teachers that teach the 4 core areas. Every team has 2 carts, 2 Chromebook carts that have 30 computers on them. And then some of our teams, they have 3 carts worth of computers. So the kids are constantly in Google Classroom, they're constantly doing things left, right, upside, downside. The cool thing is, like I have a kid that's on homebound services, which means they're struggling with an illness and they can't be at school. The teachers are able to put everything in Google Classroom. The kid can still be a part of the conversation in the classroom at the same time, even though they can't be at school. But the cell phone thing, you know, we kind of decided a long time ago it's a battle I can't win. And so, yeah, you can't beat them, so let's flip the script and use it against them, so to speak, and have them bring that to school and be a part of that. Part of that comes, you know, we have phones disappear. You know, kids don't put them where they're supposed to, or they put it down and they walk away and they come back and it's not there anymore. So we play a little bit of that game, but not much.
It's pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes,
Yeah. Any other questions? I don't know if you wanted me to ask them. Okay.
Feel free to ask questions. We'll make it a short meeting tonight. Will
Yes,
you
sir.
join us up here?
Come on up.
I have a question for
Yes.
both of you. Well, first I've got a comment. As a parent of a Deepwood Diner, second generation Deepwood Diner, I might add, the school is a wonderful school. Deepwood is, you know, it's everything I remember, and it's such a great environment for our kids. It's small, and there's so much you can do. You know, seeing all those kids packed into a cafeteria, and that's our whole school, is awesome. It's just so cool. It's such a cool environment. And I can tell you firsthand, working with Reba, that she is exactly what Deepwood needed. She is a ball of fire in a very good way. She'll get the job done. She's innovative, and she puts the kids first every time. I hear great things about Steve as well, and looking forward to getting our kids there.
She's just scared when you get to me, you're going to do more for me than her. That's all.
What I really want to know from both of you is what can we do as a community to help Deepwood and Chisholm?
That's a great question to put us on the spot like that at the end of the night. I'll speak for us. We always need mentors. We always need people to come and sit with our kids and talk to our kids and eat lunch with our kids. Anytime that you have that's available to you, we have stuff that needs to get done. Our counselors run our mentor program. They also run opportunities in classrooms for people to be involved and help out any way they can. One of the things that happens at middle school, and my first career was in education in elementary school. I taught 4th and 5th grade. I was an AP at an elementary school for 4 years before I moved up to the middle school, the big bad world of middle school. One of the things that happens at middle school is our PTA is awesome. awesome at Chisholm. It's the exception, not the rule, though, at middle schools. We have 534 PTA members, which is the highest number we've ever had in the history of Chisholm Trail. 104 of them are students that parents joined, and we try to get kids all the time to join our PTA. But what happens is, a lot of times, parents invest so much time and energy in elementary schools, they kind of take this breath when they get to middle school, because they know at high school I've got to be super involved because my kid's going to go to college and I got 4 years left, and they take this deep breath, and we lose a lot of parent support. We had a PTA meeting just a minute ago. This is meeting number 3 tonight. We had PTA meeting, then we had fine arts meeting, and then I'm here. But at our PTA meeting, the only people that were there were on the executive board, and there was 12 people in the room. So enough for a quorum, we could check the box that we had a PTA meeting, everything's good. But I got 1,040 kids. And for a PTA meeting where a fine art event was happening after it, I had 12 people show up. So to really, the mentor thing's the easy answer, Ryan. I mean, it's because everybody needs help. Everybody needs hands. Everybody needs people. What we really need is your voice in the community to say, that's a great place, you need to stay involved. You need to get involved if there's things that you need. And I know Reba's a lot like me in the sense that if you want to know something, call us. You know, and we will be as upfront with you as we possibly can about anything that comes up.
We have a communication method too with our neighborhood several ways. And so if there's like specific needs, or if you're seeing not getting help in certain areas, you gotta always let us know.
Okay.
We'll keep putting the word out and sending out the emails and hitting the Facebook pages and stuff. So.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And I agree with Steve. I know that we have a group of ladies from this church that come and read with our young students on a weekly basis, and for them just to be in and mentoring, that's a tremendous help, because some of our kiddos don't get the opportunity to read at home. Their parents are getting home late from work, or under just different circumstances, there's no one to read with them at home, and so these lovely ladies come religiously and read with our kids. So definitely mentoring. We have 350 kids, so we're about a little third of your size. And I think this year we have about 250 PTA members, and it's been the highest membership we've had in several years. And you don't have to be a parent to be part of our PTA, and so just joining our PTA alone is also helpful. Coming to our community functions, being present in that, coming and celebrating our students in that capacity, and just kind of knowing what's going on with us, and then how can we serve you. I consider myself a servant leader, and I've talked a lot about how can we serve our community. And moving forward into this next year, that's one of the things that I would like to see our school is our kids giving back to the community, and our kids being able to serve the community, because that's very important to me. And I think that just bridges our community and brings us together closer. So I think for the past couple of years, there's been a little bit of a parents are at the door, we've got it on the inside, and I really want to get our parents inside this building, because we have their babies for 8 hours, sometimes 9 hours a day, and we need your help. It's a team, and we want to be a part of your team.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, so that was sort of answering my question. Like, I have one kid in Deepwood. I'll have my second next year, and it's always been a question in my mind, like, well, how do I interact with y'all? Like, y'all have a job to do, and then there's all the security and stuff. So, can I just schedule time and like come like sit with the administration, but also I want to see the classroom as well?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And I think that is some of the mentality and mind shift we're trying to change. I need your help, so come and talk to me. I'm happy. I open door, like just kind of schedule time, or if you're in having lunch with your daughter and I'm available, I am happy to drop anything I'm doing. And I know a lot of teachers come in and say, I know you're busy. That's for me to decide. You come, because I will make time.
And I feel the same way. I mean, we have parents that come and go all the time, and I'm always an open open door, so to speak, but, you know, there's, as you said, we've got a job to do that we're working with our teachers, but we will always make time for community members that want to come in and just ask us questions. Because my dad was an administrator for a long time. My dad used to say everybody's an expert about schools because they all went to school. And in a lot of ways that's true, but in a lot of ways, I've been to the doctor's office too, and you don't want me operating on you. So there's a lot of things that we do day in and day out inside of a school building that we do a certain way that not people who don't do what we do may not understand. And so questions come up in people's minds, and then people answer those questions for themselves, and it becomes some misunderstandings that occur. And we would much rather you pick up the phone and say, hey, I was just wondering about this. Why do you do this way? Or hey, I was thinking about this. Is that something possible that you could do? Or, you know, we have Catch Night next week. You're welcome to come. It's the 7th, I believe, which is a coordinated, I can't never remember what it stands for, but it's a family fun event, but it's all about healthy lifestyles. And the kids are all like, Mr. Swain, you need to eat more fruit. Put the burger down, eat more fruit. But we have a big 5K that we're going to run with the community, and we're going to invite the elementary schools. And I think Reba and I both have a desire, because we've talked about some things about us coming to some of the stuff that happens in Deepwood, and Deepwood coming to some of the stuff that we have at our school. I know our cheerleaders helped the very first meeting that she had. We're down there doing those things, and us really being a community together, because as they leave you or leave her with the 350, you're all going to end up with me. We get all of them, which is a great thing. And the more partnerships that we can have, and the better that the relationship at the elementary is, the better the relationship becomes at the middle school. Consequently, the better relationship that happens for Ms. Nichols at the high school. So, I don't know if...
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
We support the Backpack Coalition for extra food. I'm just curious, what percentage of the students are lowest economic within in your two schools?
We have about 30%.
About 30%? Wow.
We're at 37 right now, and with the boundary change next year, we'll be about 36, 35, somewhere in there.
Can we walk the 5K? We have to run it?
You can walk it if you want to. I personally am going to be in the truck in front of the 5K.
Okay, so we, I heard y'all mention the Sellers. If anybody wants stories about the Sellers boys, let me know. I lived across the street from them growing up for many years. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm going to say anything. As you guys know, we have in our budget, we have money that we contribute to each of the schools this year. This just worked out perfect to have you guys here, because we would like to present
Nice.
Deepwood with a check for $1,000. Let me ask you first.
Okay.
What would you say at your school right now is the biggest unfunded need? If somebody just dropped some money in your lap, what do you think would best be used for?
Wow.
And you be thinking of this too.
I'm glad he asked you first. You want me to go first? It came to me.
Okay, yes.
So one of the things that she talked about beautification of the school. One of the things that I take a lot of pride in too is our building. We've spent a bunch of money here lately on our gym, because our gym looked exactly the way it did when I was there in 1984 as a student, with the exception of the gym floor that got ruined with the water damage. So we've spent a bunch of money in there. We've got, the district got us new bleachers. We've painted the entire place. We had a big mural put up on the wall that looks really cool. But one of the things that we need to do is we need to replace the pads on the backs behind the baskets, because they're the same pads that we had before. We've got record walls that have 4 different cougars on them, like the transition of logos across the and we are now down to 1 logo, and so I need to redo all those message boards. And so this absolutely helps, because the boards are about $500 a piece, and we've got 5 of them. So to replace those things is kind of where we are.
How about you?
You know, I kind of have a long list. From teaching and instructional resources to continuing the beautification, but also looking at all the very cool learning spaces at Deepwood. I don't know if any of you have not been into Deepwood, but it is a very, very, very cool building. It has lots of neat learning spaces. And as we're moving forward and talking about getting different learners and the type of learners we're getting, I know I've had a lot of teachers talking about just learning spaces and flexible seating. And so if somebody were to just drop some money in my lap, I probably would use it for looking at our learning spaces and
All right, so here's the good news. I feel like a game show host.
Hey,
But wait, there's
we
more.
haven't got buzzed yet. We must be okay.
We have, you talked about you'll put your teachers up against anybody. I'll put our neighbors up against anybody. And we have one of the most generous neighborhoods in the city. And we have another $1,000 for each of you.
Hey, if we keep talking, maybe.
Now, that's a bonus. That's not in the budget every year, so we don't know about that second. But we had a good year, and the funds were there. And I sent it out to the board today, and we all kind of agreed that it would be a good thing to do, so we went and did it.
Wow, thank you so much.
All right, anything else, guys? Thank you. We're done. If y'all want to hang around and ask questions, and we're done for the evening. Remember, next month, we're going to have about the bond election, which is very important for our schools. And the following is going to be another important one about the appraisal district. They're going to be coming down to talk to us about how they come up with the appraisals. So thank you guys, and thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
That's it. We're done.